Valinov01 here today, your ARPG OG, back again today with another Shattering Shaman build. Let's get right into this. I'm going to start out by going over each of our skills and then go over each of the individual build interactions. Starting out with Thorn Totems. Once at Endgame, we are going to spec to take the additional armor shred for Thorn Totems. We're going to get the Titan's Bane node to get their cast speed up so they get a few projectiles off in between them being shattered, and we're using Grove Mine, so our Summon Thorn Totem on hit idols summon 5 totems at once. Pretty straightforward here. For Upheaval, the basis of the build, we are using Rejuvenating Splinters to shatter our totems with Upheaval. And because we are shattering 5 totems at once, we take the Erupting Earth node to shatter them all simultaneously. The really cool thing about Rejuvenating Splinters is the Upheaval tree's effects apply to the Shatter spell. So this Shatter Totem spell is a physical spell, the only 2 ways to scale it. So we scale our physical penetration by taking the Glacial Crush node, giving us a whopping 80% physical penetration for this skill. We take the Earthbreaker node for a 30% more multiplier for our damage effects, since attack speed scaling ultimately would allow us to not have enough mana to maintain it. So we go over here to get Mantle Strike for an increased base crit chance and the ability to make the skill not able to be dodged. We get some extra crit damage, and from there we're going to look at Swipe. The main thing we're looking at here is the Primal Resonance node, which is new to patch 0.9. This allows our Swipe to cast our companion ability on every time it is used on a 2-second cooldown. This helps us with our mana management by using Summon Spriggan and their ability of Rejuvenating Wind that allows us to regenerate 15 mana over 2 seconds, which conveniently is the same cooldown as our Swipe. So when combined with the Duality of Nature, that allows us to gain 24 mana on every swipe, so that's every 2 seconds. We get some minor buffs to our damage and regen, and importantly the Cull from Swipe here. From Spriggan, pretty standard, get our spell damage, get our base crit chance, and then we are using Avalanche. We're reducing the mana cost to make things a little easier on our mana overall, and increasing the overall area of our boulders to the maximum effect, because this scales with our Summon Totem on hit idols. Avalanche allows for the largest amount of totems, or the fastest summoning of totems. I've tested other spells, tried doing Tornado with Self-Attach and Storm Orbs and the Lightning. It gives you about half as many procs. So Avalanche is definitely the way we want to go when we're doing this build in particular, because it allows us to summon the most number of totems to shatter. Skill rotation will go as follows. We start with Avalanche. That'll sum us our totems. We use Swipe, and then we start using Upheaval as long as we have totems. Shatter your totems. You can see the damage numbers are quite good. There's 100,000 crits thrown up in there, along with lots of other smaller ones, because they don't always all get aggregated together. When you pop your totems, if you reproc, you can actually proc separate sets of totems at the same time, and if they happen quick enough, you can actually pop 2 sets or more with 1 cast of Upheaval. So as far as itemization goes, we're going to want to use a Bladed Staff. This is ideal. This gives us a +1 to our Upheaval. We are going to shoot for getting Spell Critical Hit Chance and Critical Strike Multiplier. Either one of those at a T6 or a T7, awesome. If we can seal Critical Strike Chance like we have on my staff here, even better. But you're going to want to get, obviously, a T7 crit multi if possible, kind of fill in the rest. For our Helm, we're using an Ancestral Crown for the Leech on and the extra health. Titan Heart obviously is a go-to here for survivability. This gives us an extra 15% multiplicative less damage taken due to us using a 2-handed staff. Amulet, that's kind of pick your poison, and Oracle Amulet would be the best. Same thing for Ring. Obviously, Copper Ring is going to be your best there. Belt, you're going to do with something with armor, and health. Gloves, you're obviously going to want hybrid health, and again, the base doesn't particularly matter. Fill your stats in, extra endurance here, extra resist, whatever, fits the bill for what stats you need. For boots, we're going to use Foot of the Mountain ideally, because this will fill our endurance, and also will make our mana management easier by allowing Upheaval's cost to be reduced by 6 mana when we're standing still. Because of our durability of the build, we don't have to worry about moving around too much. And obviously on our idols, we are looking for Thorn Totem on chance, the rest to fill in stats. For leveling this build, you would just go the standard route of using Thorn Totems, respec when you get higher level, say 50-ish, and then go from there. But if you want to play the build all the way through, shattering totems from early, wreaking havoc, blowing things up, then you have to start out by speccing Thorn Totem as your first specialized skill. You're taking these Totemic Wisdom and maxing out Memories of a Terra, and then you're going to only put a couple points here until you can actually max these nodes out. Then you can work your way over to Grove Mine. Ideally, only using 2 points here until you have these maxed out. Then you can add more points and summon more totems at once. And you also want to finish shattering your totems, ideally by only using 2 casts of Upheaval. Another caveat is when you're leveling, you have to drop whatever skill you specialize in second. As soon as you're able to gain Upheaval, you need to spec into it. So you drop whatever your second specialization was, go into Upheaval, and you have to rush for this Rejuvenating Splinters node. If you're doing this right off the bat, it comes into a little hiccup around level 20. You might have to grind a few mobs just to get this node to make a certain boss fight a little less annoying. I mean, you can just use Thorn Totems. Until then, it's not going to be that much slower, because once you do get it, things just start popping off. Then you spec the skills in this order from there forward. On the build post on Last Epoch Tools, I have a skill progression recording for each of the skills on how you want to level with them. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoy my Shatter Shaman build. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the YouTube comments or hit me up on Twitch at Balonov01. If you could give me a follow there and give me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel, that would be fantastic. And here's some gameplay for you. A little note on the T4 Lightless Arbor dungeon boss. I did only equip 1 chance to proc idol, so it's actually at nerfed damage capabilities. I just wanted to display that it's capable even if you have bad rolled idol to complete the T4 dungeons. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.